Yes, I think it's connecting. Let's see. Are we live? Yes. Okay. Here we go. Let me get my LinkedIn views so I can see you guys here. Hello. Reload is taking a bit longer. Okay, I'm here. Okay. We are live. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Sudha Jamte, and this is Sudha Live. And I missed meeting with you all last week. I had some tech trouble with Restream, but the Restream team was very, very helpful. So at the end of the day, I'm back with them and streaming and talking to you. Typically, I do Sudha Live once a month to talk to my learners and take up any of your questions and answer your questions and bring you the latest AI trends or trends in autonomous vehicles or whatever the lesson that you're focusing on. So this month the theme is on edge AI, and that extends to autonomous vehicles. Edge is any device, and software-defined vehicles is one of the research areas that I'm working on. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. But first things first, I am happy to bring you latest trends and answer your questions. So I'm Sudha Jamte. I'm a technology futurist and your instructor from LinkedIn Learning, from the many courses that you have seen me here on. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm live streaming to LinkedIn. So I'm going to watch LinkedIn on a different stream, on a different window. And I see your numbers. I don't see the actual people unless you engage with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the trend that I promised for this month, and I'm going to go towards edge AI and software-defined vehicles. But if I see any of your questions, I'm going to stop and answer those questions. So the trend that I wanted to talk to you about is already covered along with LM Victor on weekly web trends. Let me find that for you. If you have seen it, Business School of AI is my learner community. And in there, you must have seen a post come out. Let me share my screen. This is what you will see. And this is a post. This is LM Victor, creative lead from my team. So all the beautiful videos and posts and newsletter that you get comes from LM. Thank you, LM. So LM has started an exciting project. So we have weekly WED where we bring a speaker once a month, and we bring what is happening out in industry to just continue your learning on whatever topic you're learning, right? If you're learning about IoT, autonomous vehicles, edge AI, whatever you're learning, what is the real deal? Who's working on it in industry, right? So we bring a speaker. So we decided to do something different because I have 100,000 learners and you all have different needs and you're at different stages of learning. So what LM is doing is we publish a limitless newsletter once a month. We are going to take that newsletter, but we are going to bring that to weekly WED. So this is called weekly WED trends. And LM and I did this quietly, just the two of us on Zoom. We did not invite our learners. So starting next month, we're happy to bring you back to weekly WED so that you can be an audience in Zoom as we go through the trends and the latest in jobs and opportunities. I always see trends even in jobs, even in the different opportunities, what is happening, where are the jobs going, because I believe whatever you're looking at as technology trends, if it is not creating fundamental value for business, and if it is not creating real jobs, it doesn't matter if there are many startups funded, that could still be a hype. But if it is creating real value, it has to show in the jobs. So that's how I track the different jobs. So I published that in the Limitless newsletter, but we decided to have that conversation. Okay, I want to show a little bit of this. And Yelam posted this on the Business School of AI here on LinkedIn. And we are going to do this once a month. Okay, and let me show a little bit of this that you're using in any of our lessons that we found for you, but it is prompting, chatting. And I would say there's nothing wrong in, trying that out. Okay, so I'm going to move forward a little bit on this because LM asked me a question about vibe coding and comparing vibe coding to no code. So I'm going to continue that. And I'm going to talk to you about it because somebody asked about no code compared with vibe code, and I'm going to answer that question here, but I don't want to show a video clip on that. I wanted to show you the jobs one.
Once again, this is our newsletter. You should be part of it. The QR code is on the screen. All you have to do is just scan and you'll be here. Feel free to subscribe. So we have a bunch of jobs for this month, and one of the trends we've noticed is that there are a lot of fellowships. We have University of Chicago, we have Global Majority AI Fellowship. Yes. We have also have our H. Humphrey Fellowship for 2027 to 2028 session. And Sudha, what do you think about this new trend in more fellowships than regular jobs out there?
I wish I had an answer. So I think we are seeing the trend of a lot of fellowships. And again, some of them are very specific. I think you missed one, which was the Africa Fellows in Education program. So I believe AI has reached a place where people are looking at how is it impacting different industries. So this Africa Fellowship is focused on education policy. The Applied Data Fellowship in the University of Chicago is looking at public policy related to data science and social impact, right? So I think a lot of fellowships are focused on data and policy. There is a PhD position in University of Alberta on AI policy. It looks like AI is not governed and AI is impacting every industry. That is why I think there are a lot of fellowships which are looking at specific industries and looking at how do we create the right policy and governance. IK has a EMEA open house. Okay, so it's not all only fellowships. And then there's an interesting one, ML for Justice Symposium from Brown University. It's on multiple different industries like healthcare, education, and public policy, but with a justice-oriented lens. So it is for students, policymakers, builders, researchers, whole bunch of things. One unfortunate trend is with the vibe coding, the junior people who are just coming out of college, who are software engineers, are not finding enough jobs.
Okay, I want to pause here. I want to check in to see who's out there, what questions you have. If you're joining me just now, this is Sudha Live. I just see the numbers going up. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is my monthly live with you. So your questions take precedence over everything else that I am going to be talking here. So what I was showing is weekly wed trend. It's a new form of weekly wed where LM and I meet up and we talk about the trends, which we typically share in the Limitless newsletter. If you prefer just reading it quietly, you can still do that and follow the Limitless newsletter. But we decided we'll bring that to weekly wed so that you can see the trends in jobs, the opportunities. If you need help to apply, if you want to collaborate with someone else, or you want to find referral from someone within our community, we can help you with that. And we will talk about trends. And I always talk about trends because I'm a technology futurist. So I'm looking at one trend, whether vibe coding is the same as no code. And somebody here asked that at Sudha Live last month. And the thinking was, first the question was, do we need coding or do we need no code to learn AI? And at that point, I did the answer focus just on coding versus no coding. And if you see all the different tools that I use for demos and show you guys in my courses are no code tools, because my thinking is you don't need coding to learn any fundamental concept in technology industry. Coding is one function, developers do coding, And then there's a whole bunch of jobs. So most of you learners are product managers, system analysts, data owners. You have various different kind of jobs. Even if you're in technology industry, you just don't do coding. And even if you did coding, you're trying to see what is the business impact, what am I doing with this, right? It's not just about writing the code. So that is the trend I have been tracking to for a decade now. So all my courses have no code tools. I go out of my way to find a very simple, trustworthy tool. And I also try to not align myself with any brand. So I'm kind of agnostic, and I can bring you something honestly that I've tried and tested that I feel comfortable is not going to charge you too much. Okay. Thank you so much, Elam. I appreciate that. I just showed the weekly wear trends, and you did a fantastic job, Elam. I'm excited for future months. So next month we will do the same thing, and we'll invite people at weekly wed. Elam, can you also add the weekly wed sign up link in case people are not already there on the list, especially our new learners, so that if they want to receive the Zoom link to come for weekly wed trends, they can join in, and then we can help them. Because if it's one thing to watch a video of me and Elam talking about this job, that job, here's the trend, versus you're there live in the Zoom, and this is not public, it's not live streamed. We just do that as a Zoom session, and you can actually get help if you want to apply for any of the jobs and stuff. Okay, so thank you for that. So I just want to share the weekly wed sign up link in case people want to receive the Zoom link. And if it makes time zone sense, join us, no pressure. If it doesn't, and you don't want to do this live with us, then you can still go watch the recording or look at the newsletter, a Limitless newsletter, where you can read through things, and all the different jobs are collated and listed for you. Each month we do that in the second week. So like second week, typically I do Sudha Live. This time I'm doing third week because of the tech difficulty from last week. And then the Monday before that, in the second week is our busiest week, essentially. I don't know why we do that way, Elam. We ended up with second week as when we published the newsletter with all the jobs, and we do the Sudha Live. So the weekly wed is going to be spread out. We always were doing weekly wed weekly. I would get to that if I have enough support. Right now, I can do Sudha Live and weekly wed, and my team is kind of stretched thin. So we're going to do weekly wed trends. So that's the plan. And we're talking about Edge AI. If you want to follow someone in Edge AI space, the number one expert that comes to mind is Sneha Jadhav. Sneha Jadhav has come in as a speaker in our weekly wed in the past. She's actually come and talked about Edge AI. What are the issues that when you bring AI to the edge? So let's take a step back. What is Edge AI? Who can tell me what is Edge AI? I see some numbers. That means you're here watching. So except for Sneha Jadhav, I don't know if you're watching. Anyone else can answer this question because Sneha Jadhav is the expert on this. So what is Edge AI? Question for you. I'm a teacher. I'm not going to sit and just keep talking. So I will start offering quizzes if you're quiet. So here we go. So, and for those of you who have not,
the number one expert that comes.
Sorry, I had another window where I'm trying to look at your comments so that I can answer questions, and it showed up. I do this many, many times. I don't know how to mute that window before I go there. As soon as I go to that window, it shows up. Okay, so coming back, Edge AI is essentially running AI on the edge. So what is it not? What is not Edge AI? So there was a movement. So when AI picked up with machine learning and computer vision, as they brought it to devices, the first thing they did was, technology industry did was, they said, hey, why don't we allow you to run, to build from a mobile device? And so there were mobile ML and technologies that allowed building of AI literally from a device or from the edge. That's not Edge AI. Edge AI is running inference on the edge, which means you build the AI, or you buy the AI from an API from someone who's already built it and you run it. And so that doesn't look like a big deal, but it is. And I've done a project as one of my courses for a manufacturing auto parts manufacturing company with one of my students in Mexico. And then he built the AI saying, okay, I want to find out when this furnace blows up, what is the data around it that's leading up to it, can we predict before it happens? All that was done, but then he said, okay, now I have the AI, I know this AI works, how do I put it on the device? How do I put it on one of the parts in the whole controller chain? And that is Edge AI. So Edge AI deployment is a whole topic by itself. So I'm going to share, yes, AI that works. I find an answer. I love it when my students come and answer. Let me expand my window so I can see your full answer here. AI that works on edge devices like IoT, perfect. So thank you for that, Prashant. So has anyone here seen a challenge in getting AI to run on the edge? So you have AI. So you have AI like machine learning models that have been built, or you're building it, or you're buying it from someone and modeling it for your data. So now it has to run on the edge. Why does it have to run on the edge? Let's take an example of my favorite edge device, autonomous vehicles, right? So autonomous vehicles see the road using cameras and other sensors, right? There's a lot of sensors. Even in a regular car, we have autonomous vehicle features available as ADAS, which means when you're driving, your car stays within the lane. Otherwise, you might feel a message or a beep, or like your car actually moving a little bit. One of the things I see in my car is it says the vehicle in front of you has moved. So there's a car in front of you, and you're stopped at maybe at a red light. And then if that vehicle moved and you didn't move, that means you're distracted. So a lot of these features from autonomous vehicles that is brought to regular cars is called ADAS, and it is done using bunch of sensors, bunch of cameras, looking at the road, understanding your space, all as safety features. So if you're distracted and you don't move, then the car will say, hey, the car in front of you has moved. So think about it. It looks like a very human statement. So I have two courses related to autonomous vehicles and edge devices. One is called Edge AI. I'm going to share my screen for that. Where is it? Where is it? I thought I had it already. Okay, here it is. So I just went to my set of courses. So in fact, even if you put my name in LinkedIn search and select courses, you can get all my courses. So that's the easiest way to get to my courses. Of course, you can follow me. And in Business School of AI, LM is constantly giving you clips and learning all the time about various courses. So one is you learn Edge AI using autonomous vehicle with no code. So that is this course. And you can see what is Edge AI. And I teach you 3 different AI. One is voice AI is a very important one that I love on a vehicle. And then, of course, I go through a lot of IoT. In this case, I'm actually trying to teach you about the sensors versus the whole ecosystem of what builds out Edge AI and Edge OS and how you do sensor fusion, a whole bunch of things. This is more than just teaching you 3 AI. So I also teach computer vision, and then you have an exercise with that, right? And I have voice, and then you have an exercise with that, right? That kind of thing. And I think with computer vision, I have object detection. This course is very computer vision heavy. So I have object detection as one of the exercises. And then I also have anomaly detection using computer vision. So computer vision has a lot of different models. So coming back to our topic of Edge AI, we are talking about AI running on the edge. And if you want to learn Edge AI with multiple different computer vision models and voice and understand autonomous vehicles and Edge AI broadly, this course is a good one. If you are interested in saying how did they decide that when the user is distracted, the driver is distracted, now they designed the experience to beep, or take control, or to move the car back. And all of those are design decisions. So how you do the designing, not just an autonomous vehicle, it could be a robotic arm, it could be a surgical device, it could be any kind of medical device, it could be your Fitbit. All of those are essentially IoT, and they have AI on them. And that, or your security cameras, your various devices or equipments, all of them in manufacturing, in mining, whole bunch of vehicles for sure. All of them are edge devices, which means they're devices and they have an edge. And then in the edge means you just basically are able to run a computer program of some kind. So you have some kind of intelligence, electronics that can take software. That's where we are going. To make it more software-defined vehicles, right? So if you want to do the design on how that is done, that is this innovating with AI design. But if you just want to know about computer vision models, the best course is this AI and connected products. So if you're new to devices, the whole world of devices, IoT, what are IoT, and even understand computer vision models, this one, the types of computer vision model, I'm actually happy to give you. I'm not going to do a video of that because we already did a bunch of videos. 5,000 people are learning that course right now. So I'm going to share this particular video link. Let me bring it back. Stop. So I'm going to share computer vision models, different kind of computer vision models. It's a short lesson. I've just made it free so you can learn only about the different kind of computer vision models. So I just wanted to give you an idea. When we are talking about edge AI, you're running AI on the edge. Deploying the AI onto the edge is a whole different exercise. That's where Sneha Jadhav comes in. She's done a session for us. And if that is of interest, I will bring that to you back at Weekly Wed on how do you do the deployment? What are the changes of doing deployment? And we can have a conversation. In fact, Sneha has been saying, hey, you're doing Weekly Wed as a trend. Why don't we do a Weekly Wed series just on edge AI or physical AI and the AI deployment to the edge? If that is of interest, please let me know here. And or you can DM me here if you want, or you can DM Business School of AI. I just need to hear back from enough people to know that there is interest on this series. Then we would just bring that for you. And Sneha wants to bring a bunch of speakers. So if you are my learner and you're here and you're working in the space on edge AI deployment, you're working either on the vehicle space or any other industry, doesn't matter. I'm happy to bring you in. We like to, in our community, one of the things we like to do is bring support for each other. So I produce these courses with LinkedIn. You get to learn it. That's lovely. But the real deal is what do you do with it? And you're never alone. Even you're building stuff, you have the software engineer, you have the product manager, you have the designer, you have the data owner, different business owners for various different regions and segments. And then you have the marketing people, you have legal and accounting. And I have my students in all the spectrum who are not coding. They are bringing value from their business acumen, from their core jobs. So that is why I use no code to teach you this core concept. And coming back to edge AI, we are running AI on the edge. We are running AI that is built elsewhere to run inference on the edge. And to run that, it has been modeled and built already for your specific use case. And then once it is here, for you to learn that, you need to learn the deployment if that is your thing. And I'm happy to bring you more lessons on that, speakers on that, as I promised. But outside of that, you can learn about specific, based on your industry. There are certain kind of AI applications that becomes important for specific industry. So again, it goes back to, I tend to go back to autonomous vehicle because that covers every possible AI. And it covers every possible device. In my perspective, you have sensors, you have cameras, you have radar, LiDAR, all kinds of things comes together. And the application possibility is endless because they don't exist, because it's still not yet in production level, except for the ADAS and the robotaxis from Waymo, right? And maybe there are other robotaxis, but the safe one that I have tried for sure is from Waymo. Okay, so do you have any other question? Let me double check. You know what? I need to reload before I see questions. I don't know why that is the case. So bear with me, guys. Okay, I see the
Swig,
see, and I reload, it starts again without the audio. Okay. Prashant, thank you for that. Have you worked on Edge AI deployment? I see your comment. Thank you so much. So Edge device can't afford full-fledged compute environment. Yes. So when you're running AI on the edge, it has resource constraints, right? So based on what the edge device is, it might have less data, it might have less memory, it might not have connectivity to the internet. So you might have to run it purely on the edge. You might want to then send things to the cloud. So it might be a edge and cloud combined solution, or you just run it on the edge and collect the data, or sometimes they don't even collect the data because they don't have enough storage on the edge. So those are all the different challenges. So it's a very resource constrained environment when you're running something on a device. That also makes it an opportunity to innovate. That is how the whole edge AI world has evolved, because based on what you're trying to do, think of this like if it is some kind of medical device, and you're looking at it, and you can't keep bringing it back to upload it. So one of the important things that has evolved is OTA, or over the air technology. So I recently did this research paper on software-defined vehicles, and software-defined vehicles is a path towards autonomous vehicles. So if that's a topic of interest, I will talk about that another day. But software-defined vehicle is essentially running edge AI as embedded technology on a device and on vehicles, essentially, right? And in edge AI, that's what happened. It's constrained environment. So you have to get creative on how much data am I collecting? Am I analyzing the data on the edge, or am I sending it to the cloud? Do I have bandwidth to send this payload to the cloud? And or am I going to spool this? So it could be an agricultural device, and you're collecting all the sensor information, and you're making decisions in the field. And for that, you might want to collect all the information, but then, it's a Bluetooth device that just syncs up and then sends it to the cloud once a day, or every 3 days when you get connectivity. So those are the decisions that you have to make. That is why I focus on no code, because building and coding this is not the end of the world. And I still teach you how to build the models, because I think at a fundamental level, it is important for you to know the inner workings of how the models are built, how the data is important, what is pre-training, training, post of inference, to understand all the difference becomes very, very important. I wanted to show you one more thing today, unless you have different questions for me. There is an interesting person I came across, because one of my other projects that I do is about inclusion in language data. So when you do LLMs, LLMs actually run everywhere, but they are processing language data. And even like when you're thinking about running on edge devices, it might not all be in English. Based on which country you are in, your customers are in, you will have translation. In fact, Gemini came up with a new feature where while you're watching a video live, they can actually translate it into 70 different languages. And I find it very fascinating, like, who decides what are these languages? Why is it 70 languages? And what are these 70 languages that Gemini has? And I'm sure the Gemini team has said they've not published the reasoning behind it, right? And it'll all go back to, yes, we are supporting the languages where we have high degree of confidence for the AI model, for the machine translation. We have data. Low resource languages don't have enough data. It's the same reasoning that we hear all the time. But in reality, you see Zoom, and Zoom says, oh, I'm supporting this many languages in transcription. Right now, I'm talking to you on Zoom, and Zoom has a transcription for I think 56 languages. So it's very random number, very ad hoc of what is supported based on who is building the technology, who is deploying that for you. It's very random. And there's a set of languages that are left behind. In fact, there's a bunch of languages from Africa that are left behind as low resource languages, and they are languages, thousands of languages with thousands of years of heritage of people speaking, singing, poetry, and living, right? So I find that very fascinating. So I'm going to share with you this Cohere Labs blog post that was very interesting, has some research on language AI. That is one. And I want you to follow this person. So this particular post is about how when you, let me share the screen. Oh, I don't know if I have rights to share that. I'm not going to share the screen. I'm just going to talk to that. Let me see. No, this is public. I can share that. It's okay. Because people send me stuff all the time. Okay. So this is a research done showing that, if something is said in English versus translated to multiple languages, here they're trying it in Vietnamese, in Hindi, and it changes the whole meaning of it. It flips when the language changes, right? So that is what they've done research. And if you're saying now, if Gemini is translating to 70 languages, and then if you're watching it, I'm watching it, and different people are watching it, and it says different things for us, that's a problem for Gemini or the development team. But it comes back to the language model. So even on vehicles, there's like voice activated deployment of the devices. All of that comes to LLMs and how they work with many different languages. So this is research. Cohere Labs has done this with many people. And Ankita Mehti is this person. I'm going to show you her profile, because I think if you're interested in voice and language of LLM research, I think she's a fantastic person to follow. I thought I had a profile ready here. Yes. Here we go. This is Ankita Mehti, and she is a PhD fellow at Aarhus University. The blog post I showed you from Cohere Labs is hers. She's an important person I would follow. I would recommend that we follow if you're interested in and it's also like an AI community, open source work and all that. So she's part of the Cohere Labs. So that is something I would definitely recommend. The other important thing I wanted to tell you is we were talking about job trends, and you heard me and LM talk in the beginning about how we are not seeing junior level jobs, and we are seeing more of a trend towards fellowships, and a lot focused on AI for social good, because AI is permeating different industries without any governance, without any consideration of why is it there, what is going on. So there's a lot of different jobs that have showed up, or fellowships that have showed up, saying, hey, let's stop and think about, do we need AI? What is it doing? Can we deploy this for social good? There's a degree of acceptance that surprises me, in spite of people knowing how the environmental impact of AI. People don't want to think too much about it, or there are different people who think about it, but there are others who don't. There are some people who just think about it as, it's here in my industry, what am I going to do with it? Or let me think about the social good angle of it, and or create some governance for it, so it just kind of doesn't blow up. So that's where I'm seeing a lot of the fellowships coming in. Right outside of the fellowship, junior jobs are gone. Let me talk about that, because I want to be honest. When I'm talking about my trends, I bring reality, and I try to help you with that. So I'm going to talk about why this trend of very junior people are not getting jobs, why there are no internships, and freshmen from college are not just freshmen, the people who have young graduates from college, or people are not getting internships if you're a college student. And after graduating, the fresh grad jobs are out, right? That is tied to this new trend called vibe coding. So we were talking about code versus no code, and I was saying you don't need coding to learn any trend in tech. So no code basically gives you a tool that doesn't involve coding, but you're able to excite the system to do what it is capable of. So if you can build a machine learning model to check whether you want to classify your data to see who is the customer that you will go target next, or you're going to understand some data from your sensors in edge AI situation, and you say, do I see a pattern? And can I use AI for it? Or even if you're using computer vision model or voice model or anything like that, right? You're using technology, and in any of my classes, including the autonomous vehicle one, I teach you with a no-code tool. I don't have a no-code tool that can build a whole autonomous vehicle, but I have given you no-code tools that teaches you different aspects of AI, different kind of AI, to do different kind of computer vision models as an exercise, right? So that's the no-code one. So now coming back to the latest trend that everybody is talking about, vibe coding. I can claim to be an expert on it. In fact, there's an AI trends course on LinkedIn Learning that has a bunch of experts who cover all the topics. And it's a living course that they keep on adding new topics each time as new trends evolve. So, and that course is free. You don't need to have premium or anything else. You can just take that course. So you can try that. And there's vibe coding explained there too. But my take on it as a technology futurist is I'm always looking at trends evolve and why they're evolving, what is happening. So vibe coding is essentially it's a developer's use case of using Gen AI. And they are using AI to prompt it to build code for them. And Gen AI basically went and was trained as foundation model from content from the internet. So they got all kinds of source codes from open source, from GitHub, and it got into the brain of Gen AI. So when you ask it to generate code, it generates code. But Gen AI hallucinates. So when you ask it to say, hey, I want to build a website, give me the code for it. And the website should look like this and whatever, right? It gives you the code for it. And you have to say, give me the Python code for it, or give me a code for this particular technology or something like that. And it will generate the code. Now, when it gives you the code, unless you're a developer who knows to code, you cannot see if that's garbage or whether it's real, whether it is doing what you're asking it to do. And so that is where vibe coding has taken two directions. One is it is fine-tuned, right? Any AI that comes to you as a chatbot is not raw foundation model. It is fine-tuned. So that's why for the last couple of years, I've been saying there's one technology that you have to learn in the Gen AI world, it is fine-tuning. Fine-tuning sets the tone of the chatbot. Fine-tuning teaches its industry jargon to work for your industry. Fine-tuning teaches it new language for machine translation. Fine-tuning is using supervised learning on top of an existing foundation model, right? So it's semi-supervised learning by taking a foundation model. But I'm digressing into depths of Gen AI, so I'm not going to go into that. And again, you can take my Gen AI course if you want to look at that. But what it means for vibe coding is developers basically said, hey, I'm asking you to generate images, and it's giving me images with 6 fingers. This is not working for me. I know to do coding. Can I teach the AI to do coding? And so that's how they asked it to start coding, and that picked up as vibe coding. But the two things I was saying is, one, it's a chat interface. So it generates code, and you need an experienced engineer who knows to look at the code and say, this is good or this is bad, or fix this way. And that is the part where the junior people are not given the job because they come from learning, and there's no trust that they will know that that code is right or wrong. And so they're not given the jobs. And so mid to senior level people are brought to not code, but to babysit the AI to make its buggy code that you can fix. But still, developers are so fascinated by it. They're very fascinated by things technology can do. So that is their job of coding. And now you can see the AI spit out code is very fascinating. So every single developer talks about this with amazement, right? And then because it is fine-tuned, it talks in a certain way. Like, how I've talked about how when you talk to Alexa, Alexa apologizes and makes herself look small, and it's a her. And that always annoys me when I'm teaching the AI design courses. Think about the AI persona and the gender, if it needs a gender. The same thing with vibe coding. It's talking to you. And Claude has picked up, because Claude is the friend of the developer. Claude does a better job of catering to this interaction, anthropomorphic behavior that the developers expect, that they are mentoring this all-knowing AI to do vibe coding, but it is acting like a junior resource, and you can mentor it and say, haha, why did you do that? And it says, I'm sorry, that's right, I had to fix it. So that's an interesting phenomenon that's evolving in the world of software engineering. So development has changed from writing pure code to prompting it and repeat set of prompts in a chat environment, guiding the AI to build the code. That's vibe coding. So now, how is it relevant to us? If you're using no code and you're learning any of my courses and you're doing any of the job roles that I was telling you about, everybody seems to be playing with vibe codes. I was talking to a designer who said, I use vibe coding and to augment my design, to have a conversation with the developers, and that's the new way of doing that. So I'm listening to different people using vibe codes. So everybody in the no code AI world look at it this, hey, I don't need to code, and I can just make it generate code for me, and they're going running. And so if you are a data owner, you want to run analysis of your data, you can prompt it. This is exactly not vibe coding, but essentially you're prompting a LLM. That's what I'm seeing with the data people, the product people who are using vibe coding. If it generates code and you're a no code person, why do you want it to generate code? Because you're not building the coding systems here. So, but there seems to be an evolution of people of all different jobs playing with vibe coding to see, can it help my role? I see this as an evolution today. Designers are using it, PMs are using it, data owners are using it. If this is of interest, I'm happy to research more and bring that to you. But as of now, vibe coding is replacing the coding software engineers and changing their job to be a chatty buddy for AI generating code for them to guide to build what they want to build. And that is the vibe coding for the engineer. Everybody else is saying, okay, the engineer is using vibe coding, it must be cool, and it doesn't require coding. Why don't I try it out? So that's the phase everyone is in. So if that is of interest to you, you can try that out. And if it's of interest that you want to understand how it impacts various different roles, I'm happy to bring that. I'm seeing AI works on the edge. I see Prashant's comment. Is there any other question or comment from the edge AI world? I'm happy to bring that question. Otherwise, what I'm doing here is I always talk about a trend, and I see everybody getting hyped up about vibe coding. And there are also, yes, there are other technologies like Copilot, Gemini has it, also vibe coding from various other technologies. Claude is something that picked up with vibe coding, so that seems to be in the front runner. But there are also other technologies. Again, I'm trying to be agnostic and not married to one of them, so you can try whatever you want out of this. But the way the developer is using is to replace their job to a new mode of what their job will change into, versus everyone else is just curious, like a no-code AI tool. So in summary, it is not a no-code AI tool. No-code AI tools are products built to make you do something. So if any of the no-code tools that you see in my courses are fully productized products made for you to use no code to do something. Vibe coding is not at the stage. Vibe coding is still prompting the LLM to spit out code. You can't do anything with it. You can obviously chat with the LLM to analyze your data or do something. You don't need vibe coding for that. So that's where I'm seeing it, but it will evolve. Somebody could build a product with that. You could be the one to build a product with that or ask for a product out of that. So that's the evolution we are in. But I think we are at a very not so stable state in terms of technology, because like a couple years was spent on just building models without giving us applications. So now we are at the stage saying, okay, we are still, we stop focusing just on models, but we are going to be, the job of the software engineer has changed, so they're focusing on vibe coding. There's a whole bunch of agents and stuff that people are trying to do automation. Again, that has slowed down, in my perspective, to focus on applications. So I've always been saying, when you're building anything with technology, pause. It's very easy to get excited about the technology. That's okay. I get excited too. But think about, why are you using this? What is its capability? What problem can it solve? Can it solve a problem for your industry? Can it solve a problem that's dear and near personal to your heart? Or is this the capability of the AI now? Can you actually make it do something useful for somebody, anybody? And the more closer it is to you, then you're able to, build something meaningful. Or the more you understand the customer, you're able to do something meaningful. The thing with Gen AI was they were focused so much on models, they missed out on customers. There was a gap with the customers. And so now I think the movement is towards, let's focus on customers and let's build something that would actually solve a problem for somebody. And when that happens, naturally, the industry would evolve to that direction. So that's where I'm seeing. And so I'm excited about Edge AI, because devices have always been here. Devices have evolved without AI. Devices have data. So one question I had asked before I did this round of Sudha Live was, does IoT need AI, or does AI need IoT? What is more important? Especially those of you in the Edge AI space, tell me what your thinking is. Does IoT need AI, or does AI need IoT? Both could be true, but which is more, according to you? So tell me, you can even say IoT needs AI as IoT, and AI needs IoT as AI. If you want to do a little bit of less typing, so then that's your option. So while you're thinking about it, I want to wrap up the topic of vibe coding compared to no code. No code. So vibe coding is not no code, no code coding, no code AI. Vibe coding is its own different thing, right? We discussed that. I see more people joining in. We are almost, closer to the end of our Sudha Live. We have 12 more minutes. I've been talking about Edge AI. I've been talking about this trend of vibe coding and compared to no code, and it is not no code. Vibe coding is not no code. Vibe coding is something different, but there's an opportunity of a new piece of technology. People who are excited about innovative technologies want to say, hey, will that solve a problem for me? Will it make my life easy? Will it make my customers' life easy? That's what you need to focus on. Is there a customer that will benefit if you are using that? Otherwise, you're wasting your time and burning a lot of forest because it's Gen AI, right? So that is one we've been talking. I've shared a whole bunch of jobs, the trends in jobs, and closing out on vibe coding. The important thing is that junior people are not getting the jobs. That doesn't mean they're just going to sit idle, wait for somebody to give them a job one day, because by the time the job market opens for them in whatever shape or form, they need to be able to show what they know. So there has been a very fun project by DJ Patil called Hack Your Summer. I've included details of this in the newsletter, and I want to share the screen and tell you a little bit about it, because I love this idea and the concept coming to life. Okay, so it's called hackyoursummer.org, and DJ Patil basically said, this is not right that young people are not getting internships and they're finishing their degrees and then they're sitting without a job. They're frustrated. Why don't we do something about it? So he put out a call on LinkedIn and called for people who have built anything in technology space to come and contribute as mentors, teachers, be part of this program. And he built out this program called Hack Your Summer. It's a 4-week, almost like a production sprint, where you get to build something. And he basically says, you applied for a lot of things. You can be an undergrad of any year. You can be a graduate, master's, or PhD. You can be a recent grad in the last 12 months. And you don't have to wait for somebody. This is not a hackathon. You don't have to wait for someone else to tell you what to do. You just build something, right? Do something. What do you want to build? And then he's very clear. He's aware that building products does not happen only by the software engineer. So he says this is not limited to software engineers, and anybody who wants to build a product can come together based on your interest. So the first batch is already happening this week, started on Monday, June 15th. That's going to be 4 weeks. It's free. You just need the commitment, and they're going to check your eligibility because you have to be an adult. You have to be 18 or above, and you have to be enrolled in a college, or you just graduated from a college. This is for college grads is the thinking. And the second batch is starting on July 13th, runs till August 7th. The thinking is you would have done an internship in summer. Instead, why don't you do this? And after you're done, you will be, and this is only for US, and this is done by DigiPatel. If there are other programs that people want to do this around the world, there are a few. There's one amazing one happening in Africa. I want to share that with you, especially in Nigeria. But this is a US-based one, so you can build something, right? This is literally like, how does the schedule look like if you're signing off? Then you have a kickoff meetings to set up a goal for the week. It's almost like a sprint cycle. It gets an experience of how things are built in the industry. Daily stand-ups with a part of peers. Again, they're going to do this across time zones, so that's very fascinating, very impressive initiative by DigiPatel. And then there's a lot of mentors who have signed in, that kind of thing, right? This is there is no it's all virtual, right? Again, and it's unpaid but free, that you get to build something. And that's what this is saying. So this, if you go to hackyoursummer.org, it's here. I've also linked it in my newsletter post that I just did recently. That's all the details here, and I believe there's a registration link, and this is for the engineers to sign up. And then there's a link from there which says if you want to mentor, if you want to contribute compute time or something else as a sponsor, they have all that. But this is an amazing initiative. This shows like people coming together in a grassroots movement. That's what always fascinates me, the people coming together in a grassroots momentum to help the new people, students who are not getting a job. There's another one I want to show, that's Hack Your Summer. So I would highly recommend signing up. This is the other one. This is called AI Saturdays Lagos. This was started by couple volunteers again. Tejumade Afunja is one of the co-founders, and now they are doing this on their 10th cohort. They basically started a group of learners from engineers from Nigeria, got together, looked at the recording of Dr. Fifi Lee's NLP course from Stanford on YouTube, and said, why don't we get together on Saturdays and learn together and work together and help each other when we run into our projects. And they started doing that, and that became the first cohort. They've been doing this consistently. Their lessons are actually published on YouTube, and now they are on their 10th cohort. So I believe they have signups, and then they select people, then they do that as a group. And I believe this is closed for this season, but it's all free, but they accept, and they have a process. They started already on end of May. It goes till September. So look out for the future session. But what I love, and you end up building a capstone project. This is very high level stuff. This quality is unbelievable. But what I found fascinating this time is it's a Google DeepMind AI Research Foundation course, is what they're saying for this cohort. And I was like, what is this Google DeepMind Foundation course? So going from NLT, the world has switched to large language models. So they're teaching about the foundation of language modeling and various different models, how to train the model, and then getting into tokenization embeddings and all that stuff. And then they're going into actual training. This is very advanced level engineer work, and that is being led by Tejumade and team. And they teach you about transformer architecture and all those things, right? And you end up doing a capstone project. This is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant work. And then you end up getting a certificate, I believe. And these are all the amazing instructors and tutors who are working on this. So congratulations. But what I found fascinating is if you look at this site, AI Saturdays Lagos GitHub site, it actually takes you to the link. You can see the course content itself. And you can, like I went here and it said the role of probabilities. And then it actually goes to skills.google and it teaches you how to do this, right? It takes you to the content for this. And one of the things, I've not dug into it fully, but from what I saw when I signed up for that skills program, and it looks like a Google supported one, yeah, free on Google Skill Boost. So when you do that, it actually takes you to available courses. This is what, like they pick some course that they think is good, and then they're teaching you using that content, right? But I found that many of the language models, when it is typically being taught and training is done, it's done with English, right? But here, because there are these brilliant African researchers who have been teaching this, who are researchers, who are PhDs, who are very advanced skill level people who are contributing to AI for African languages. The examples and the models and the data set has African data set. So I don't know what else is happening like this anywhere in the world, but I find diversity very exciting. I find when people take initiative for their own local problems and they bring resources, and I find that very fascinating. So this is very inspiring for me. I've always been a fan of Tejumade. So I would highly recommend that you follow Teju. Let me find Tejumade. I'm going to show you her profile. Hey, she's put that try AI in her profile also. So this is Tejumade Afonja. She is somebody you have to follow. She is a force in the whole AI world, I would say. And I believe she started out, she's been a speaker at IoT Women many years back. And I was asking her, like, if there is bias in data sets, why don't we just fix the data sets? And she was like, no, we'll introduce more bias, and there's better methods to do that. And she was explaining machine learning versus deep learning at that time, and she's come such a long way. And the initiative and drive to bring her entire community together and to go do this at a global scale and to build the right partnerships, brilliant. So very inspired by that. Okay, so I'm going to go back one last time back to let me see. Did we do that? Did I share this? The Jumade's AI one. Let me find that. Yes, I will put that in the comment. Thank you for the reminder, guys. I appreciate that. Where am I? Here, I'm going to say Tejumade Afonja. And it's, yeah. Come on. And this is the AI Saturdays link. Yep. Okay. Any last question? So I told you about vibe coding compared with no coding, and vibe coding is not no coding. That is impacting developers, young developers. There's the summer, Hack Your Summer from DJ Patil. We'll add a link to summer. Yelam, let's add a link to Hack Your Summer right here, or our latest newsletter from yesterday post, so that it has the link and people can understand what it is and sign up. And I want you to look at people, amazing women like Tejumade and Ankita, who are all like moving the needle, or DJ Patil, who's driving a whole set of people to go help developers. I just find that very inspiring when we are thinking about what is happening in the AI world. There are no jobs, or some degree of hype that is not like reflecting back as into useful solutions around us. It's very fascinating to see people take charge, and I find that very inspiring. Okay. With that, I've reached the end of the hour, so I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to reload, and it's going to repeat my voice back one more time to see What is this new notification? Is there any other comment? Okay, did anybody answer that question? Yes, I have not answered that question. Sorry. I read the reload and I'm hearing my own voice. Okay, so did anybody answer that question? I don't want to miss it if you answered that AI need IoT or IoT need AI. Let me see comments. So it is true that originally it was IoT with devices, they produce data, lots of volume of data, and that data was used to train AI. So AI came after IoT, and that is how it happened, right? IoT, data from IoT, and AI was trained from that. So now what has happened is AI is everywhere, especially with Gen AI, taking data from all over the internet with or without permission. AI has happened, right? So now AI needs a vehicle. You cannot say, okay, now AI is able to do computer vision and it can find out whether there's a person. You cannot deploy that unless you put it on a camera, you put it on a car. So all the AI now needs a vehicle, it needs IoT. So now we've reached the stage where IoT is a vehicle for AI. AI needs devices. AI needs IoT more than IoT needing AI. That's kind of my conclusion. I'm biased here because I love IoT, but I also like things that are more practical and helpful to people. So to wrap up, thank you everyone who's joined me on Sudha Live. And if you follow Business School of AI, that's my learner community. LM will be sure to bring you the recording, clips, follow-ups, links from what we are doing here. And I want to hear from you if you're interested in a weekly web series on Edge AI, on IoT, that physical AI track. If that is of interest to you, I'm happy to contribute and bring speakers and stuff. And I'll go find Sneha Jadav's time if she's able to work with us and bring us knowledge on Edge AI deployment in a more practical setting from industry, real solid stuff. You will not find that in any course. So ping me, let us know on Business School of AI if that's of interest. And then the AI weekly web trends that LMS started, I'm excited about it. We talked about vibe coding. And we'll bring the latest trends, but we'll also bring the latest jobs with the links. And so if that is something you want to be in the audience in a Zoom session, not live streamed, then sign up at Weekly Wed. Let me put, I don't know if Vellum has put this already, where you can sign up for a Weekly Wed. Here we go. Sign up. Join Zoom. And you can, if once you get this, you will get your email with the Zoom link, and you can join us, and we'll let you know when that happens. Okay. With that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you everyone who's joined me. I'll come back and look at questions. If you end up having any questions for me out here. The other thing is I want to find people who are working in Edge AI space. If you want to come and talk to my learner community, I'm happy to invite you, and I will obviously vet you and find out that it is aligned with the level of conversation I want to bring to our learners. And I don't bring speakers who just are famous speakers. I bring people because they want to teach something to my learners. They are of the mentoring, nurturing kind, because my learners are brilliant people out in industry doing amazing things. So with that, I want to wrap up. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you next month. I usually do Sudha Live in the second Wednesday of the month. You don't need to sign up for anything, and it will pop up in our calendar right here. But look out for that. But definitely follow Limitless newsletter, because that is where you will find all possible updates coming from LM, or you can follow Business School of AI, and he keeps posting stuff to keep us updated on everything. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe. Bye.